You know, I believe my wife should be nominated for sainthood.
That sounds normal for everybody that's got a wife.
Why, you ask? Because for the last 6 years, 5 years married, she's had to put up with my crazy ass.
I
But you,
know that feeling.
but you know the best part about it?
What?
The best part about it is she's as nutty as I am.
That's when it's
And,
perfect, dude.
and y'all have met her. She's as nutty as I am.
Yep.
I love you, Jody. Let's go.
Go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Let's get this doggone thing. Good morning. Welcome to the Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This portion is presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. What you do is you sign up, you register, you make your first deposit, and BetUS will give you a 125% deposit match on that deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. The big dog is with me. How you feeling, buddy?
Oh, I've been better, dude. I have been a lot better, but at least we ain't winless in the NFL, like a couple of teams out there.
My 49ers may have taken a big fat L yesterday and choked away a 10-point lead, which unfortunately has become a staple of Kyle Shanahan because he choked a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl. But as we were talking in pre-show, I'd rather go through it now than in December.
Right.
I'd rather go through it now. I mean, Nick Sorensen, get the defense together, will you please?
Yeah, exactly.
The defense played great for 3.5 quarters, and then the final 7 minutes happened. And I got to let my cat out. Pumpkin.
I'll tell you what's crazy is as I was looking over the standings this morning, The 3 winless teams in the NFL are all in the AFC.
Yeah.
The
I'll
Bengals
take a
currently
1-2 record.
Yeah, the Bengals are currently sitting at
Go ahead.
0-2 going into tonight. Jacksonville's sitting at
And they're
0-2
going to be
going into
0-3.
tonight. And the Titans,
Mhm.
after yesterday's loss, are sitting at 0-3.
All the AFC teams that you named are going to be 0-3 after tonight.
Yeah,
because I fully expect the Redskins. Yes, the Redskins, not the Commanders, the Redskins, to go into Cincinnati and take care of business.
And I'll tell you right now, as I was looking through the standings, right now your undefeated teams going into tonight are Buffalo. They'll be 3-0 after tonight. The
Yep.
Chiefs sitting at 3-0 after. Holy cow!
Struggle.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a struggle and a half.
And
that was a struggle and a half with Atlanta
and Pittsburgh at 3-0.
Justin Fields has a line. Let's just call it the way we see it. I still don't trust Pittsburgh to do this throughout the season.
No, not a chance.
I don't trust Pittsburgh. And a lot of people were coming after me saying, see, I told you Justin Fields could be a good quarterback. He's 3-0 now. And Minnesota surprised me, although I shouldn't be surprised because we said at the top of the year, what would Sam Darnold do with weapons? Well, he's shutting me up so far.
Go 3-0 so far this season.
He's shutting me up so far. But let's stay in Los Angeles. The 49ers choked away a 10-point lead yesterday. Yes, I'm looking into this camera and I'm saying it because I watched the game.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, dude.
That was bad. I've never seen that in my years of being a 49er fan or 49er insider.
I've seen it.
I don't want that
too often.
I don't want that to become a trend.
No, that would be horrible.
This year, I don't want that to become a trend that they hold a 10-point lead and somehow give it away. I mean, it shades of Baltimore, who nearly choked away a 28-6 lead against Dallas. But like I said, as far as my 49ers go, I'll take a 1-2 start now and see you in New Orleans in February.
Yeah,
because we're going to get everybody back. Debo was out, Kittle was out, but Juwan Jennings, kudos to him for stepping up, man. 3 touchdowns yesterday.
Yeah, that was major yesterday for them.
And Brock Purdy got me 300 points in my fantasy league for 293 passing yards.
Man, we really need to get something set up for next year for the 4 or 5 plus.
We thought about it this year. We said that we would, but unfortunately ran out of time.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings, by the way, everybody, 11 receptions, $175 to go with those 3 touches.
He's going to be huge coming down the stretch because I think we get Kittle back next week. Debo's still out. We're not going to see McCaffrey until week 7.
6 or 7.
We get him back week 7. Who do we play week 7? Oh, Kansas City. Jeez.
Yeah, there's a sound clip perfect for that right about now.
I don't want to play it.
Too early.
It's way too early. But we hope you all had a great. You know what team that surprised me? The Colts. The Colts surprised me. And I say they surprised me because they were turning the ball over yesterday at will.
Yeah.
And I got to share a funny story. Wife and I were watching the Colts game yesterday. She was working on a class project, but the Colts were on. And I had plans we're going to dive into all the games. We're going to do a deep dive into all the games as we go along here today. But I got to share this before we take our first break. So I had planned, and you saw the calendar, I had planned to call 2 games yesterday.
Yep.
The main games I was going to focus on were the Colts and the 49ers. I had them all set up in my head. My wife reminded me, don't forget to set up your streams for your 2 games you're going to call. I woke up at 8 a.m. yesterday. Wife and I woke up at 8 a.m. And she reminded me, she says, Colts game is at 1. Don't forget. I won't forget. Man, I fell right back to sleep.
You called me about this. Yeah, I remember.
I fell right back to sleep.
Yep.
And then my wife comes in at 11 and she says, you got a couple of hours. All right. My brain's turning on, getting cranked up. You know how you crank up an old car and you're waiting for it to turn over? That was me yesterday.
An old Dodge Magnum. I know that.
An old Magnum trying to turn over in my head. Okay, perfect. I got 2 hours, maybe 2 hours, 10 minutes to get in here, get cleaned up, get set up for my call. Nope.
Flat out.
Brain tried to turn over and I fell flat on my face. And my wife comes in, baby, it's 1:05. Oh, bleep. So I just wound up watching both games yesterday.
Yeah.
And it felt good to do, to like take a day.
Yeah, it does.
To the Fanatics feedback zone we go. Sounds like you needed an oil change and a tune-up. Yeah, true. I got a tune-up yesterday because I actually turned this thing off at 11 o'clock and I marched to bed and felt good doing it. Especially when my pretty lady had CSI New York on and we both watched it till we fell asleep.
Yep.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll do a preview of tonight's doubleheader in Monday Night Football and answer the question, why the hell is there a doubleheader on Monday Night Football? And how Monday Night Football has fallen.
We have enough time for that?
Unfortunately, no. We only got 120 minutes. But that discussion is 120 minutes alone. We've had it.
Yeah.
We've had it. All right. Take a break. Monday Night Football discussion when y'all get back. This is Snowman in the Morning. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE. Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
The women's college game,
and how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
The WNBA,
AJ Williams stood 1-2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out. on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, Snowman and the dog here with you, and let's go to the Fanatics Feedback Zone. Our Feedback Zone is presented by Fanatics, officially licensed everything. To Norway we go. Sick Diggy's the first one in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Same to you. Snowman in the Morning is brought to you by Bum Leg Orthopedic, the only back brace Dak Prescott needs to carry the Cowboys into mediocrity. That's Bum Leg Orthopedic, folks. On my back, on my leg, on my back, on my leg. And Clearwater Laxative, brand new, triple strong, but triple soft colon cleanse. When things get muddy, Clearwater is your buddy. Clearwater Laxative. Good Lord. You gotta love these ads.
I know.
Right? I think what we're gonna do from here on out, because the folks at Zebo are watching also, we're not gonna put the comments up on the screen, but we are gonna acknowledge them here. Victor Locke is with us. Good morning, gentlemen. He said, good morning, gentlemen. I'm in the office today. Well, I'm in the office this week, and I'll report to the floor. We're going to get to that game. Sick Diggy's laughing at my story with me about me and Jody. Sounds like you needed an oil change and a tune-up. And Victor Locke says, Dak played a good game as he could, but now I must ask, why did we bring Zeke back? Let's dive into that. The Cowboys nearly pulled off a miracle, but lost 28-25. Let me say that again. The Cowboys nearly came back from a 22-point deficit, but they still lost.
Yep.
And you have the numbers in front of you, do you not?
Yes, I do.
I'll ask one question. What did Ezekiel Elliott do?
Big Zeke, 2 rushes, 7 yards, 1 touchdown.
I'm sorry, what?
2 rushes, 7 yards.
Who was the leading rusher for the Cowboys?
Rico Dottle, 8 carries, 32 yards.
And they brought Ezekiel Elliott back for what?
Apparently goal line runs. I don't know. I mean, let's just be real about it here. Prescott carried that team. 28 of 51, 379.
But they're leaning on Prescott too much.
Yeah, they are. There's no run game in Dallas.
There's nothing. Okay, what did Cole Johnson say to me? Why are teams allergic to running the football?
Baltimore wasn't.
Why? Baltimore got what, 200?
Let me take a look here. Team stats: 274 on the ground.
That's what we kind of expected from Baltimore, especially since they signed
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Exactly.
Who went 25 for 151, 2 scores. Lamar went 14 for 87 and 1. while only going 12 of 15, a $182 airborne.
Mm-hmm. Balanced offense.
Yeah, that's what did it.
Balanced offense.
That's exactly what did it.
That's what is going to help Baltimore. And going back to Los Angeles, that's what's going to help the 49ers, even though they did get stunned yesterday. I'll do my take on the 49ers later. Meanwhile, Jordan Mason for the 49ers, 19 carries, 77 yards. Brock Purdy carried the ball 10 times for 41 yards. Isaac Guerrero, 5 carries for 19 yards, 137 on the ground. I made that comparison to say this. Why isn't Dallas running the football?
They're scared too. They don't have anyone that's explosive.
Why don't the Cowboys run the football?
Because Waddle and Elliott are not explosive. And that's what's needed.
And they're not the answer.
No, they're not. I mean, for some crazy reason, King Henry still has enough gas in the tank to break runs like he did last night.
Absolutely he does. Absolutely he does. Why that didn't happen, I don't know. And you have to rely on Dak, who is not a complete quarterback, to bring you back from that deficit.
No, and the fact that he had to. This is the problem with the NFL. If you're throwing the football over 50 times in a game, there's something wrong somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sorry, but I've seen guys get 379 yards on a lot less.
So have I. I've seen Purdy do it. I mean, Purdy only threw the ball 30 times yesterday for 293.
I mean, I've
seen Joe Burrow do it. I've seen Aaron Rodgers. God, I hate mentioning this, but I've seen it done. I've seen Steve Young do it.
Look at it this way. Dallas ran 70 plays yesterday.
How many of them were
51 were passing attempts.
And only 19 rushing attempts. You're not going to win that way.
No, you're not.
You're simply not.
I mean,
you are not going to win. You are not going to win that way.
I mean, look at what happened here with Baltimore. 60 total plays. They only threw the ball 18 times.
Now, I drink to that balance because now Baltimore realizes they have a weapon in Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Oh, I said correctly. It was 12 of 15 for Lamar.
Use Derrick Henry. He's got more than a few miles left in the tank. Okay?
Yeah.
Use him. Use him, Baltimore. You signed him for a reason. Meanwhile, in Dallas, they're not making the playoffs playing like this.
Nope. They aren't.
They are not making the playoffs playing like this.
And it does not get any easier because they got the Thursday night game this week
with the Giants
against the divisional rival, New York Giants.
And Dallas is going to mess around and go down to the Giants.
Yeah.
They're going to mess around and go down to the Giants because they can't run the football. You paid Dak $240 million for what? A quarterback is not only supposed to throw the football, but he's supposed to put his team in a position to win. Dak Prescott has not put his team in a position to win anything. And I'm saying that out loud. I'm saying that out loud, and I'm glad I'm saying it. Dak Prescott has not put his team in a position to win.
No, he hasn't.
I think the Cowboys should do what Victor's suggesting. And he says, this is why I said we should tank for a high draft spot. I agree. Problem is, this is a weak quarterback class.
Yeah, it is.
This is a very weak quarterback class.
It really is, unfortunately.
And it's bad. There's no recognizable names. There's no recognizable names. And unless I miss something, there's not gonna be any recognizable names because I don't see Ewers or I take that back. There's Dylan Gabriel in Oregon. There's Carson Beck at Georgia, but I think Beck's going to stay another year smartly. I don't know, man. Well, I don't know what the solution is in Dallas.
Simplest answer I've got: ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Ownership and coaching.
Because Mike McCarthy is clearly not the answer.
Nope.
So, like San Francisco, Dallas is going to have to play from behind in the division.
Oh, by the way, you brought up the draft class for next season. I've actually got the top 10 prospects in front of me.
All right.
The best quarterback right now is looking to be number 4 on the big board, with it being Carson Beck.
I knew it.
Number 8 on the board, Shedeur Sanders.
Get out of here.
He's number 8 on the big board.
What? Shedeur Sanders is ranked over Dylan Gabriel?
I'm looking at the big board right now.
Where is Dylan Gabriel in this draft class?
Trying to find him right now, and I've gone past 20.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, the top 10 that I'm looking at right now: Travis Hunter.
Oh, God.
Will Johnson out of Michigan, the corner.
Mm-hmm.
James Pierce Jr., the edge out of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
The aforementioned Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Defensive lineman out of Michigan, Mason Graham.
I can see that.
Number 6, Tataria McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. 23 receptions, 453, 4 touchdowns. Will Campbell out of LSU, the offensive tackle, at 7. Shedeur at 8. Luther Burden III, wide receiver out of Mizzou, going 9. 19 receptions, 257, 4 touch.
Yeah.
And Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle, at 10.
Shedeur Sanders should come off the board. Shedeur Sanders should come off the board. Because he is not an NFL-ready quarterback. In my eyes, he's not NFL-ready.
And I'll tell you right now, I've got the other one up for ESPN.
Okay.
They've got Shedeur at 7 and Carson Beck at 8.
Flip that.
They still have Mason. They actually put Mason Graham number 1 on their draft board.
Mm-hmm.
With Will Johnson, Travis Hunter, James Pierce, McMillan, Kelvin Banks, again, Shedeur and Beck. Micah Williams out of Georgia, the edge rusher, and then Will Campbell, the offensive tackle, at 10.
I got distracted. Darian Hopkins is with us. Says, good morning, fellas. Have a great stream while I'm at the hellhole of a job.
What up, D-Hop?
What's going on, D-Hop?
But yeah, so apparently there's a bit of a different spread this year coming up for the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, we're only a few games into the season, but
right.
You know, take this as a grain of salt for now.
Yeah. Yeah, just like I'm taking that big fat L we took yesterday in Los Angeles with a grain of salt because we're beat up. But Dallas is going to get beat up psychologically. They're going to get beat up psychologically.
This early start for Dallas is going to – they got trolled at this start of the year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to get easier.
How did Victor put it? Troll games.
Yeah, well, the first
and then they got
weeks
and
of
they
them.
turn around and play. They turn around and play Thursday, as you said.
Yeah, against divisional rival with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who gets a divisional? Wait a minute, we got a divisional rival that early. Never mind.
Yeah, y'all had the Jets. We had
and
the
we
Rams.
got smoked. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen the Niners win the division with one loss. Hell, they did it last year. They did it last year because we had already sealed everything when we lost to the Rams.
And I mean, are we really going to trust Seattle to run the table in the NFC West?
Hell to the no.
And I mean, Arizona's going to Arizona.
Of course they are. They lost to Detroit yesterday. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
That should tell you something right there.
And with the NFC North, I don't see Minnesota running the table. I mean, yes, I took them to win this past weekend, but they're not going to run the table.
I will just say stranger things have happened. In my years of watching football, stranger things have happened. You know it, I know it.
True, but Detroit still has a pretty good shot to take the North.
Yeah, I trust Detroit to win that division more than I trust the Vikings.
Yeah.
I
Don't sleep on
I want to see the Motor City Kitties go meow big time when they play the Vikes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, don't sleep on Green Bay either. When Jordan Love comes back,
they're going to be even more dangerous than they are now.
Exactly.
They're going to be even more dangerous than they are now when they get Jordan Love back.
Yeah.
And because the Cowboys extended Dak, they've locked themselves into mediocrity.
Could be worse. You could always have Deshaun Watson.
Oh, God. I would say I feel sorry for Cleveland, but I don't. Let's take a break.
Because it's Cleveland.
Yeah, because it's Cleveland. I don't know how I got to saying that. Yeah, I do. Because you know who was there for a time.
Yeah.
And I can't stand the city of Cleveland.
Just like we can't stand the fact that Monday Night Football's got double headers 3 of the next 4 weeks.
Oh, jeez. Stop. My stomach hurts.
I'm just saying, whose bright idea was this?
No comment. No comment whatsoever.
Talk about it after the break.
Yeah, because now that you've extended Dak, Victor says you have to figure out what to build around him. They already built around him, and it sucks.
They need to rip the drywall down and try again.
Forget the drywall. You need to blow that SOB up and try again. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll welcome back an old friend. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Whew. Off and running we go. Here on the Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have you all with us. This portion is brought to you by SeatGeek. Football is here. Basketball and hockey are on the way. And you want to go see some games, don't you? Of course you do. What you do is you go to SeatGeek.com, use the code Snowman Multimedia for $20 off of your first order. That's SeatGeek, where fans can fan. Got an old friend on the way. He'll be here in a couple of moments. But, man, I got to ask you, what game surprised you the most yesterday?
Honestly, Denver-Tampa.
Denver did take it to Tampa, didn't they?
And the thing is, Bo Nix made everyone believe in him, even though he didn't even throw a touchdown. Victor will appreciate that one too.
Did not throw a touchdown.
No, Bo Nix did not throw a touchdown. 25 of 36 to 16.
What was the final? 23-6?
26-7.
26-7. 23-6. What the hell's wrong with me? Yeah. Denver surprised me, and as I mentioned earlier in the program, so did Indianapolis. Indianapolis turned the ball over twice, overcame that, and won. Now, there's someone we need to welcome. Anybody remember this guy? He's back. Ryan McCoffey here with us this morning. How are you, my friend? Great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you guys too.
We had to bring him back after his Jets beat us in Thursday night, huh? I am going to regret this.
No, you're not.
Shane's like, I'm gonna leave now.
I'm gonna go put a cold washcloth on my forehead and hide for the next 20 minutes.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Hey, we've missed you, McCoffey. We have truly missed you.
Thank you. I'm yeah, it's been a weird summer, so but it's a good
You're not wrong.
No, you're not. You're not wrong. It's been weird. It's been weird everywhere. What's the brew this morning?
I believe it's break in case of emergency by Invader Coffee.
Nice.
Hey,
nice. All our guests appear via the Invader Coffee guest line, and of course, y'all know Ryan McCarthy, aka Ryan McCoffey. What you got for us this morning?
What kind of a world do we live in where the Jets are 2-1 and the 49ers are 1-2?
An upside down one.
That's true. Yeah. Even I'm in shock.
Listen, but you expect it to flip right side up one of these days.
Yeah. Niners will get it right. They played a team. I saw a video of I don't know if he was a radio host or he covered the 49ers. He basically said, yeah, the 49ers just got beat by a JV squad with 8 guys. And I'm like, wow, that's harsh.
Hey, truth hurts. And this is coming from a 49er insider, okay? We had no reason to lose. We had no reason to lose that game. But
you didn't.
As I said at the top of the program, I'd rather deal with the mistakes now than in December when we're fighting for the division and possibly our playoff lives. I know Frisco will get it. I know Frisco will get it together.
Thank you, LeBron.
Yeah, you guys got
in the chat.
Yeah, 49ers have us next Sunday. Oh,
that's a get right game.
Shane, buy me a Coke.
And apparently, I'm supposed to be on the call for that.
Oh yeah, I'm dragging Shane in studio for that call next Sunday.
I may have the Jets game on mute, and I may have this call on my laptop.
You just want to hear me suffer, don't you?
You deserve it. You deserve it.
And this is after his birthday, folks.
Oh,
this is after his birthday.
2 days after I turned, 2 days after I turned 38, I'm calling my Patriots getting murdered
by a beat up 49er team. They are beat up, man. That's the only thing. And we talked about it. We all talked about it at the top of the year. The only thing that could derail the 49ers is what's derailing them now. Injuries to key players.
Well, at least you have the Red Sox. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Can I hide now?
No, you stay here.
At least you have the Bruins. Oh, wait. They open against the Stanley Cup champs.
You got the Celtics.
Yeah, you got the Celtics.
Got the Celtics.
Got the Celtics.
By the way, Vicola in the chat says Ryan has receipts. Oh, I do.
And he's already doled out a few of them to me, even though I really didn't fire any shots.
No. Those are long time coming receipts. All right.
Lovely.
I mean, let's put it this way. I had to light a cigarette on Thursday night after the beatdown I witnessed. All right. I had to light a cigarette just to calm down. Euphoric.
I get it.
Look,
man.
I've had to take all the abuse all these years from Pats fans. All right.
Yes.
It's about time I should back out.
Victor Locke says,
I just happen to be the weight bag.
Victor Locke says, if I can't hide, Shane, you can't hide. Hey, I can't hide either. I'm not. I made up my mind. I wasn't gonna hide after what I witnessed yesterday. But I believe the Patriots are the Jets are gonna sweep the Patriots this year for the first time in many moons.
20-ish years, maybe a little more, give or take.
I can't think of the last time. There's a lot of things. Look, there's a lot of things happening that I can't remember the last time happening.
I think the last time the Jets swept New England, they had Vinny Testaverde and Curtis Martin.
I believe you were right.
Yeah.
98, I believe.
98, yeah, something like that.
98, 99.
Back when we had Bledsoe.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And then he left to go to Buffalo, and then he went to go to Dallas. And, God, I feel sorry for Dallas because they haven't gotten a stink out of that yet.
You know what? They haven't gotten the stink out of a lot of things. And now they're going through it with Prescott. Oops.
Oh, that's some bad sign right there. When you overpay your quarterback who can't get past the divisional, and you overpay your best receiver, leaving basically no money for Micah Parsons, your best pass rusher.
Yep.
That's a bad
again,
sign.
They are overpaying. They are overpaying Dak Prescott for, let me borrow my best Keith Jackson, 2 playoff victories. 2
times. Two-time
Just like
playoff winner.
Atlanta overpaid Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins for one playoff victory.
Well, they won the first half last night, didn't they?
Something like that. Again,
Yeah,
though, it
but
could
you gotta
always
play
be
the
worse. It could always be worse. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
jeez. I
I
do not feel for the Cleveland Browns.
I was out of civilization from about Friday afternoon through yesterday at 4:00.
Uh-huh.
And I got to my co-host Dustin's house. He was hosting a little get together at his place. Shout out to Dustin for the smoked pork. It's delicious.
Damn.
He said so when I got the order, I didn't realize I ordered 11 pounds of pork butt. And I'm like, I'll take some home. I'll take some off your back. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. And I did. If
I was there, I certainly would have brought some home to me and the wife.
Yeah, I get back into town and I see what happened with the Giants and the Browns. I'm like, Giants beat the Browns. Oh, okay, good for them. 8 sacks on Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, how many? Like, was that just like that game was just? And we discussed it last week on last week Tuesday's program about how this contract can't be voided until 2027, unless there's some loophole that the Browns can get out of with the league and say,
I
listen,
don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I do not see a loophole.
It's a guaranteed contract.
It's a fully guaranteed contract. He had a fully guaranteed contract he hasn't earned.
So I would like to request a receipt from a guest you had on Thursday morning by the name of Chris Simpson, who basically was I don't know which Jets he was watching. But I'm like, are you watching the same team I'm watching? I'm a fan too. I'm not gonna see everything with green colored glasses, right? I know the pain. I know the pain. In the words of Joe Beningo, oh, the pain. I know the pain.
Joe Beningo. Gotta love Joe.
It's
you know it would be legendary. You know it would be legendary if I were to somehow, some way get the legendary Joe Beningo on this program.
You probably could. He's retired.
I would love to have him. I'd love to have him. It would be.
I don't think he's tied to WFAN anymore, so he could probably have him as a host or as a guest.
You know what drew me to Joe Beningo? When he would go off on the Jets. Because I didn't know about Joe until like 2008 when I happened to catch him live. I'm sitting in my office and got the headphones on, and all of a sudden I hear this guy with a deep New York accent going off on the Jets. And all I hear is, and don't tell me the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins. Why would I think that? And I fell out of my chair.
By the way, speaking of dumpster fires,
yes.
What about the Dolphins?
Oh God,
no Tua. That's the problem.
I want to say no Tua. Even with Tua, they still looked unimpressive.
Exactly. They are not. I'm not impressed with the Dolphins.
No,
I mean,
I said that at the top of the year.
They lost a football purgatory yesterday.
I said at the top of the year that I wasn't impressed with the Dolphins, and they're trusting Tua once again. For what? For what?
Another concussion?
Another head injury.
Tua,
sad to say. I mean, it's sad to say, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
and sad to say. Say this: Tua is done.
I mean, if you go back 6 years, look at the injury list that he has had.
Mm-hmm.
The primary list, I mean, it's turning into almost like Roman numerals next to it, is concussions.
Right. And what's scary, he's still out there playing. And I'm going to say something that's going to anger a lot of Dolphin fans. I'm trying not to say it the other way, but he should not have come out of Alabama. He had another year remaining to get completely healthy.
And that's the problem with most. I said quarterback. The quarterback position is that you inflate your numbers at a school. You get talked to in the ears. You get the attention of an agent or an advisor or so-called advisor.
Yeah.
Or your head coaches.
And I think
some
that's
head coaches. Yeah. Some head coaches are begging them like, don't go.
Yep.
You need another year to develop.
Yep.
That's what happened. That's what happened with Mark Sanchez. Remember Mark Sanchez?
I remember him.
Great first 2 years, aided by the running game, and then in year 3 they said let it rip, and it was the biggest mistake that Rex Ryan ever made.
Huge.
I'm sorry, but the only thing I can think of when it comes with Sanchez is the butt fumble.
Shush. No.
You know what? I was at my ex.
Smile off your face. 24-3, pal.
I was 20 when that happened. I was at a Thanksgiving dinner with my fiance at the time. We saw that happen and the whole house went silent. And my fiance turned to me and she goes, "Have you nothing to say, sir?" And I turned back to her and I said, "Liz, what just happened?" That's the only question I had.
It's time for
I couldn't believe it was happening, and I watched the darn thing.
Yep.
Live, mind you.
But that was passed. Hopefully
the Jets have turned the corner.
Hopefully it takes, and they got Denver on Sunday.
Oh gosh.
Denver?
Is that in the Meadowlands or is that in Mile High?
In Meadowlands, yep. They got,
Brees gets 150.
I hope so. I mean,
I want to use Iron Eagle's nickname, Brees Lightning.
That's a dangerous combination of Hall and Allen in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to take a look at some real time research here about Thursday's game.
Okay.
Because your guy, Mr. Simpson, was saying, "Oh, well, Aaron Rodgers is only thrown to Garrett Wilson. He's only got two or three targets after Garrett Wilson. You know who's got to throw to?" If you look at the box score, he found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers. 8. And the leading receiver was not Garrett Wilson. It was Tyler Conklin. 5 receptions, 93 yards. So I don't want to hear this Garrett Wilson's the only guy he throws to. Nonsense. I hear him typing.
Just a minute.
Wait, he's got something. Wait for it. Should I get some music?
I was wrong. The New York Jets offense.
This has been another receipt collected by Ryan McCoffey.
Absolutely.
Now that's going to turn into a thing around here.
That's going to be a bit.
That might be a shirt. And I
We've already got like 12 ideas.
I already got the one created that we came up with last week. We're professionals. We just don't act like it, or something to that nature.
Yeah,
I call myself professional-ish.
You know what? That gives me an idea.
Oh,
I have to take a picture of that smiling face and put it on a shirt. Professional-ish. With your nickname on the back of it, Ryan McCoffey.
Oh, man.
My daughter, Cheyenne, heard me say McCoffey on the air, went to a break, and she texted me, "McCoffey? Don't you mean McCarthy?" Well, Cheyenne, honey, here's what happened.
I got a story for you.
I never did get a chance to tell her what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Cheyenne, I know you're listening because I know you're at work. Here's what happened. I pulled an all-nighter like a dummy, and my wife kept begging me to come to bed, and I would get halfway to bed, then another idea would hit me, and I'm back here in the office. I finally went to bed about 5:30 that morning. I lay down. An hour later, alarm goes off. I get my wife ready. I get ready. I sat in this chair, and it was a Monday. And McCarthy had thrown me a message in the chat, and I read said message. And instead of saying Ryan McCarthy, I said Ryan McCoffee because we were getting ready for coffee with McCarthy. And I had about 30 ounces of coffee sitting here on my desk. So that's how the nickname happened.
You're welcome, Cheyenne.
Because she'll look at me and go, "How do you come up with some of the stuff that you do?" Honey, I don't know. Your dad's weird.
It just happens that way.
I tried to explain.
Just happens.
Listen, my whole family's weird, and I love every single one of them. One of these times, I'm going to have Cheyenne on the air with me. We already got plans of her doing a podcast. She just has to make time to come over here and record. And I already told her, when you do your podcast, I got to be in another room. And she goes, "No, you got to be here with me." I can't. Why? Because my laughter will stifle your podcast. All right. Early CFL Grey Cup picks.
You mean the CFL, the Chaotic Football League?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. The West is too tough. The West is too tough to call, I think, right now. Early on, I thought it was going to be Saskatchewan, Montreal. I also thought it was going to be BC, Montreal. Could also make an argument for Winnipeg and Ottawa.
Yeah.
Going back.
True.
But I mean, the East goes through Montreal.
The East goes through Montreal.
Montreal's assured a playoff game. They assured themselves a home playoff game on Saturday.
You want to know something crazy? I think the West will go through BC.
You might not be wrong.
I think the West will go through BC because with the return of the remarkable Rourke, even with all the turnovers, that offense is getting their act together. That offense is getting their act together, and that's what's going to carry them.
But they're so streaky.
So streaky
right now.
And that's been the case for the last 3 years with BC.
Yeah,
last 3 years.
Yeah, 1 minute it's these guys are going to just blow the brakes off of every team.
Yep.
And the next week they stall. It's crazy. But one team to look out for in the next couple weeks, in the remaining 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Hamilton's on a roll right now. I don't know if Bo Levi Mitchell went and got some serum to bring him back to the 2018 form.
But he's looking that way.
He's looking good. He's leading them to wins. They won in a walk-off the other night against Toronto. Toronto's slipping too.
Toronto has slipped.
Toronto is nowhere near the team they were last year.
Because Toronto was unbeatable.
Toronto was unbeatable last year until they met Montreal in the East Final, and Marc-Antoine Ducroix had something to say about that.
Oh my god! And we did that game.
We witnessed that live. We did that call.
We did that game, and as soon as I see Ryan jump up and say interception, because I was like, I'd say about 20 seconds behind you on your feed. As soon as Ryan jumps up and say interception, it happens here, and my eyes get real big, and I'm going, he's taking this the distance. What was that, 100 yards?
105 yards.
105 yards, he took it back. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow. And as far as BC goes, they're off this week.
They were off this week. They play Hamilton on Friday.
They host Hamilton on Friday.
Yep.
I might be a little busy.
Oh.
I'm thinking about it. Depends on if there's a big college game for me to do on Friday. Couple more notes here. Will the Yankees lock up the number 1 seed in the American League?
No.
Shane, he didn't ask you.
I'm just saying no.
Well, I'm looking at Cleveland's schedule.
Quit!
Schedule.
Shane, quit. I was drinking something when you interfered. You rat.
Oh, so Cleveland's remaining schedule. They lost 2 out of 3 against St. Louis at St. Louis.
At St. Louis.
And they got here's their last 5. Here's their remaining 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
2 against Cincinnati. Those should be wins.
Yeah.
And then they close out the series. They close out the year against Houston at home. While
Preview.
The Yankees got to play. They got to close out against Baltimore, and then they play the Pirates to end the season. So,
okay. So Cleveland gets Houston at home to close the season, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How far is Houston behind Cleveland for that number 2 seed?
Great question. They are. Looks like they're 2 games back.
They can snatch that number 2 seed.
And the Yankees are 2.5 games up for the number 1 seed in the American League.
Right.
They're up on Cleveland 2.5 games. Baltimore's let's see, what's the division? Baltimore's 6 games back at the Yankees. So Yankees got to win out. I mean, the Yankees' magic number for the division is, I think, 2. And Baltimore is 6 games back. And they need to win out, and they need the Yankees to lose out in order to clinch that division. But I think the Yankees let's see. It's going to be a tough series against Baltimore. But the last time they played each other, Yankees took 3 out of 4. And that was right before the All-Star break, and Clay Holmes had a save opportunity and blew it. No, sorry.
Oh gosh.
All-Star Clay Holmes. All-Star.
How the hell did that happen?
I don't know. I've never heard of an All-Star. I never heard of an All-Star blowing 12 games in a year.
Me neither. The last one I could think of that did something like that, but he didn't blow 12 saves, was Bobby Thigpen in 1991. And remember, Bobby Thigpen became the first reliever to save 50 in a season.
And
which prompts a trivia question. In that year, 1990, Bobby Thigpen, as I just mentioned, set the record for saves in a season. How many?
Is it in the 40s? 50s?
Yep.
57?
I was going to say lower.
On the nose.
Ooh.
57. 57. The last one came at the last game ever at Old Comiskey Park, September 30th, 1990.
I don't know if you've noticed the Twitter account for the White Sox. They've given up.
Look, I'm a White Sox.
And this is not the dig on you, Snowman, but this is just the way the season has gone for the White Sox.
Look, I'm a White Sox fan and a White Sox insider, and I gave up long ago. I follow them, but I'm waiting for the year to reset. I really am.
So I just want to throw this out here before I take off.
Okay.
If you're the GM of this team, what do you do in the offseason?
Keep Luis Robert, blow up everybody else.
Fair assessment.
Everybody else needs to go because they're not playing hard at all. That's what angers me about my White Sox. That's what angers me the most.
Is it the fact that are they young or they just don't care?
I want to lean toward the former and not the latter. But I don't know, man. This is not White Sox baseball as I remember it. Even in their down years, they played hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
The call in the South Side is for Jerry Reinsdorf to sell the team.
I agree.
Do you agree? Do you agree? Okay.
I agree. Reinsdorf, I love you. You brought us a World Series in 2005, but it's time to go. You brought us 6 with the Bulls. You brought us a championship with the White Sox. It's time to go. Well, that's McCoffee, and that's Coffee with McCarthy, presented in part by Invader coffee. Fuel for the fearless. Man, it's great to have you back.
Thank you. I don't know when I'll be on again, but hopefully sooner than later.
Hopefully sooner than later.
But you'll see me in the chat. You'll also
right.
No credentials required. Victory Monday tonight at 8:30. Shane, love to have you tune in, buddy. And
shut up.
Get Shane on the show
tomorrow night.
That's how you solve that. You get Shane on the show.
Yeah, right.
Do it that way.
Tomorrow, the OG program returns at 8:05. We're talking about week 4 in the NFL. Wow, week 4. No, week 3. God, I can't keep track of time. And then Saturday morning at 10 a.m. we'll have our Saturday show. We'll preview week 4. So hope you can join us. I'll drop the link in the chat.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. What the hell happened yesterday in Las Vegas? We'll break that down later. More from week 3 in the NFL as we've reached halftime. Second half of Snowman in the Morning comes your way after these.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life-holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Williams on Twitter 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
And ever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. No, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Hour 2 of Snowman in the morning, 10 after the hour with the dog. I'm the Snowman. We got a lot in the chat. Ryan McCoffey dropped his link for Victory Monday at 8:30 Eastern time on the No Credentials Required YouTube channel, youtube.com/@NOCREDSREQ. Now,
before we go any further, to wrap up a couple things from the last hour.
Okay.
My beloved Red Sox might have done Houston a favor.
Like meaning what?
The fact that we beat Minnesota this weekend, and now Minnesota's out of the playoffs, replaced by Detroit.
What kind of favor is that?
You guys would have a hell of an easier time against Detroit since you're hosting all three at home.
We're going to host all three at home anyway. And we're going to beat the hell out of whoever's there.
And the other note, dealing with possibly doing a college game on Friday. There's only 2 games I'm looking at on the docket.
And they are?
Virginia Tech against Miami and Washington at Rutgers.
Oh, they both suck. No thanks.
Oh, yeah, I think your Friday might be freed up.
I'll pass. Yuck.
Yeah.
Yuck. Who the wrote this schedule?
The same people that trolled Dallas.
Yeah. Speaking of Houston, the Astros have a chance tonight and the next 3 nights to clinch the American League West for the 4th consecutive year and for the 7th time in the last 8 years.
I'm not surprised.
They host Seattle tonight, beginning at 8:10. Yours truly will have the call. We start at 8 p.m. Oh, that hurt. Oh,
I've had a few of those. Trust me.
That hurt, man.
Yeah, those ones will.
Okay. All right, I'm fine, y'all. That one came up backwards.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That one came up backwards. Jeez. Okay. Now, back to business. What the happened in Seattle?
Well, Seattle's trying to say they ain't messing around.
This week 3. Talk to me in week 14.
Well, let's see. It doesn't help when Miami had to go through 2 quarterbacks. Skylar Thompson went 13-19, $107. Tim Boyle, 7-13 for 79.
Tim who?
Boyle.
Who the? Never mind. I remember who that is.
Yeah. It also doesn't help when the rush.
He was a Jets quarterback once upon a time, wasn't he?
Jets, Lions.
He played with the Lions. Good grief.
Yeah, he played with the Lions. He also played with Green Bay.
And Green Bay. Yikes.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have Jay Spivey on at the bottom of the hour to talk all things Carolina. And we figured out, Jay and I texted each other last night. We figured out what the problem is with Carolina. We'll explain at the bottom of the hour. Now, how about those Colts?
Let's see. Yeah, they.
Thank you. I mean, AR5 is going to struggle.
Yeah,
but he has weapons. His decision making has got to get better. Okay. His decision making has got to get better because he threw what could have been a costly pick yesterday on a goal line situation. He'll learn from that.
Yeah.
I have confidence in him. He'll learn from that. And he'll come back stronger. And then there's Jonathan Taylor.
Biggest reason you guys stayed in the game.
Mm-hmm. And then
23 for $110, 2 touches.
And then there's Jonathan Taylor. Damn.
Yeah.
He is the reason we stayed in the game.
I mean, let's not knock.
He's absolutely the reason we stayed in the game.
I mean, let's not knock Trey Sermon down a little bit. I mean, he did give you guys
Trey
more
Sermon had a big
well.
touch. Yeah, Trey Sermon had a big touchdown run.
Yeah, but your running game in general is what kept you guys in it. Mainly because Chicago can't block a running game.
You know what? I have a few things to say about the Bears. And a few things to say about Caleb Williams.
You mean besides the fact Caleb went 33 of 52?
Listen carefully. This is an open letter to Caleb Williams. Dear Caleb Williams, you suck.
We've been saying that for eons now.
You've missed 7 wide open receivers. 2 of them became interceptions. The fact that you had to throw the ball and they actually let you throw the ball 52 times. Let me say that again. The fact that the Bears let you throw the ball 52 times. 52. And that happened at Lucas Oil Stadium. You are not a worthy quarterback you are not a quarterback worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. Flashes of brilliance? Yes. Anything after that? You suck. Period. And now to the Chicago Bears organization. Why'd you sign DeAndre Swift if you're not going to use him? You got one of the best running backs that was supposed to still be in Philadelphia. I said it. Supposed to still be in Philadelphia. Philadelphia foolishly let him go for an injured Saquon Barkley, who rescued the Eagles, by the way.
Right.
But come on. I mean, all I have to ask is,
what in the all types of blue hell
was that? What did DeAndre Swift do? You got the numbers in front of you? What did DeAndre?
You're not going to like these numbers.
Try me.
13 carries, 20 yards. 2-0.
As I said before, Caleb Williams, you suck. Bears organization, you suck worse for not equipping Caleb Williams, the supposed number 1 overall pick, to succeed. Y'all suck. Bad. You deserve to be 1-2. You should be 0-3. But your defense saved you in week 1. It's not going to save you again. The one win you got against Tennessee is the only win you're going to get this year. Period. You are not Chicago Bears, and this is my open letter to the Chicago Bears. And I want y'all to listen carefully. And the Midwest Republic of Bear Idiocy, I want you to listen very, very closely. Your Bears are going to blow for a while until you get rid of the current regime and send Caleb Williams packing.
Who would take him's the question.
You know what? You send Caleb Williams to the CFL. I hear the Ottawa Redblacks are looking for a quarterback.
Ooh. Ooh. Ouch.
Hell, send him to the UFL.
Oh, ouch.
I hear the loss. I hear the team in Vegas is looking for a quarterback. Oh, I'm sorry. They disbanded. I'm sorry.
Ouch.
But Caleb Williams is not a good quarterback. His best days are behind him. His best days were at Oklahoma. And what's even more stupid is that you guys continue to depend on him when he's not going to come through for you. I'll say it again. You guys, the Bears organization, Matt Eberfools, allowed Caleb Williams to throw the ball 52 times. $52 times you allowed him to throw the ball. Okay.
Yep.
You remember that number? 52 times.
52 out of 84 plays from scrimmage were pass plays.
Were pass plays. And how many yards did he get?
363.
All that, most of that was garbage. Most of that was garbage yards.
Romo Dune, 6 receptions, $112. Cole Kmet, 10 for 97. DJ Moore, 8 for 78.
Let me say that again. Let me say what I've been saying for the longest time. And y'all are not going to like it. The Bear fans are not going to like it. But I don't care. It goes like this. You not only mortgaged, but you have now risked your entire future for DJ Moore.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Apparently the Bears did. But I'll say it again.
They must have a member of the idiocracy running the company.
Yeah, her name's Virginia McCaskey.
Woof.
And I've known about that bleep since my days of living in Chicago. I can't tell you how many times my mom would tell me, you need to be a fan of the Bears. Woof!
I mean, it's not like the Bears' schedule gets any easier.
Mm-mm.
They got the Rams next week. They got the Panthers after that. And then it goes Jacksonville at home, on the road for the Commanders or Redskins or whatever they're going to call themselves this week. And then they're out in Phoenix for Call It Booty.
I pray there's a tie in that game.
You just want anarchy.
You darn tootin' I want anarchy.
If there's going to be a tie, I'd rather see it with Carolina.
You're darn tootin' I want anarchy.
I can see it. I can see him tying with Carolina quicker than I could see him tying with Arizona.
I want a scoreless tie with them in Arizona.
Ouch.
I want total anarchy for my team. I know that. I get that. That's why I make the joke all the time.
This is one of those times that could actually happen.
Mm-hmm. If anyone knows me and realizes what I do here when I say I want this game to be a tie or that game to be a tie, I do it in joking fashion. I'm having fun. And the running joke is I want total anarchy. Yes, I playfully want total anarchy. But to be serious about Caleb Williams, you're not good. You never will be good until you go to a team that actually respects your talents, however few they are, and decides to put a line in front of you like the Steelers put in front of Justin Fields, though I doubt that will last.
We all know Russell Wilson's going to replace him when he's healthy.
And now this.
So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, and all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates magna cum stupid.
That's the Bears.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the Bears. Anyway, you suck, Caleb Williams, and you're never going to be better. Ever. Even if you get traded to another team, you're never going to be better. End of story. Prove me wrong. That's Snowman's take. What's yours? In joking fashion, when we come back, I'm going to put myself on the hot seat. It involves my family, and y'all are going to get a real kick out of this. And it happened yesterday. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete, 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 delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole,
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan,
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, I'm going to share a laugh at my own expense before we welcome J Spivey.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I told this story at the top of the show. I'm going to repeat it, but this time I'm going to put this in front of it. This one is on me. My wife, who I affectionately call Dr. K, has told me many times, listen to your body. Me, I'm stubborn. I realize that now. I'm in my 50s. I am stubborn. I didn't listen. For many, many days, I didn't listen. And it all came back to bite me in the rear end yesterday. On the calendar, I put 2 games I was going to cover. Colts and the Bears, and the Rams and the 49ers. Had them set on the schedule. Had all the prep done. And then I woke up yesterday and didn't feel a thing. My wife woke me up and she said, you need to get ready. Aren't you doing the Colts game today? Oh, yeah, I am. No, I wasn't. I fell right back to sleep. All those days and months of going as hard as I can, I paid for it yesterday. Why? I slept through part of the first quarter of the Colts game. And then I came in here after I had lunch with every intent of setting up and doing the Niners game and keeping an eye on the Astros and the Fever. Had it all set up. Matter of fact, Victor gave me a wonderful idea. Think George Michael's Sports Machine, which is how I'm probably going to handle things from here on out while I'm doing a live call. Not yesterday. I even said I will try to do Sunday Night Football. My wife walked by and said, nuh-uh. Wife was right. I cut this thing off and myself off at 11 o'clock and marched right into bed. Well, honey, you were right. And now I'm getting up. Arku, to answer your question, I have 2 monitors and I'm about to get a third. I hope that answers your question. Let's take a break. Let's take a break, and when we come back, Jay Spivey will join us from North Carolina, and he has an answer to a question. I just had to put myself on the hot seat and share a laugh. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete! 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 Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
We're back, and so is this man. Jay Spivey now joins us. Good morning, Jay. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. All right.
I got one question before we get going.
Go ahead.
How about them Cowboys?
Nice.
Shots fired. And I love it. 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 I love it.
I had to get going that way.
Yep. I hear you.
And I got this. And I'll repeat a question that Jay asked before last week. I'll repeat a question he asked. Why did the WNBA schedule their playoff games A, on a Sunday, and B, during NFL Sunday?
It makes no sense to me why they keep doing this themselves. You have an incredible year. They've had all year to get this scheduled. And you schedule all 4 playoff games on NFL Sunday, and one of which started at 10 o'clock.
The one in Vegas.
I mean, why?
The one in Vegas started at 10 o'clock.
I mean, you have to be the hardest of hardcore WNBA fans to watch that.
I told y'all I turned this thing off at 11 o'clock and I went to bed.
I didn't watch a second of it yesterday. I mean, I didn't know anybody else.
Nor did I. I only had plans to follow it and like 3 other games that were within that time slot.
I didn't even watch any of the Braves game yesterday. I had to watch it on my phone because I wasn't going to turn Red Zone yesterday.
And Red Zone's giving me an idea, but I'll talk about that before we close up shop today. Yeah, how about them Cowboys?
Oh my word. And they almost won the
bad.
game. Thank you, Ravens, for allowing them to almost win the game.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be something there as to why they can't close out games lately.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
I mean, that game shouldn't have even been close.
That should have been a 40-point game for the Ravens.
It was heading that way.
And they stopped playing.
I mean, the Cowboys very easily could have won that game yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And to a point, should have.
And had they not gotten that first down at the end of the game, I believe the Cowboys would have won.
Yeah, I believe they would have came back and won also. Question about the Cowboys that we asked earlier. Why are they not running the football?
Oh, this is the Cowboys for you. And the other thing is you got a 90-year-old running back who you brought back after saying he wasn't good enough for you.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, you bring Zeke back, you did nothing with the Patriots.
I mean, in fairness, yeah. I got nothing. I mean, we couldn't even utilize him up here.
Oh my gosh.
But again, look what we've had for running backs lately.
Well, you know, I have my least favorites in a lot of sports, and they're right up there because of all the just complete overhype they get every year, every day, every week, you can go down the whole list.
Mm-hmm.
They've done nothing for a long time, and they get nothing but exposure.
And you know, a lot of fans will tell me because it's the Cowboys. It needs to stop.
And I get their ratings are great every single time they're on. I get that. But they're on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're on this Thursday night.
Against the Giants.
Yes.
I'm just glad that's on Amazon Prime.
You know, when I got the Thursday night schedule, my wife gave me the Thursday night schedule, and she asked me, which games are you going to do so I'll know to help get you prepared for it. I looked at this one, and before I could say anything, my wife looked me dead in the face and goes, "No, you're not doing this one." I said, "Baby, it's Thursday night." She says, "I know that, but you're not doing this one because it's the Cowboys." When my eagle-eyed wife can spot a game I'm not doing, I'm just going to sit back and listen.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
I am not touching that game Thursday night.
No point.
If you watch the game yesterday and you watch the post-game, different interviews and stuff, they're on all the clip shows.
Yep.
There's clearly some infighting there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I understand why they did it and why they had to do it. But you really think you're going to rely on Dak Prescott to win these playoff games?
No.
He's just not. And the people who think he's an elite quarterback, I don't know if he's in the top 8 or 10 quarterbacks in the league. But I understand they had to do what they had to do, or otherwise you're starting back from scratch.
Yeah.
They need to start from scratch anyway.
And that's kind of where all NFL teams are these days.
Yes.
Right.
If you don't have a quarterback, you're starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go back. I don't know how it ended up being yesterday, but I know the first 2 weeks, passing and scoring was way down.
Yep.
And that's because I'll go back to what I said a million times on your show, man. It's the worst coach position in all sports.
Thank you. Thank you.
A large part of it is, and a lot of people don't want to hear me say this, so many of these new quarterbacks, and until yesterday when Bo Nix had that first touchdown yesterday, and I'm sure there were a couple more. When Bo Nix no rookie quarterback had a touchdown until yesterday. None.
Right.
And I'll say this, and I don't care whether people get mad at me or not.
It's
because most of these quarterbacks that come in these days in the last 10, 12, 15, 20 years, whatever you want to say, whatever year you want to come up with, they're run-first quarterbacks, and they don't know how to throw the ball.
And
their instinct is to tuck it and run every time.
Yep, especially not throwing the ball well.
True.
No.
Especially not throwing the ball well. There are very few quarterbacks in this league that can throw the football well. All right? Very, very few. And it's like Jay said, they tuck and run at first opportunity without even going through all your progressions. And just as I said a couple of moments ago, Caleb freaking Williams.
Yeah, he's right up there because he's struggling too.
He is.
Look at all the first, second, third year quarterbacks who were struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Defenses are going to figure you out. You can't just run the ball as a quarterback in the NFL. You can get away with it in college.
Yes.
But you cannot get away with that in the NFL.
And
there's too much speed and 2 minutes film on these guys.
And I will repeat your words. This is the worst coached position, and I've seen it in the past 20 years of covering football at any level. Any level. This is the worst coached position I've ever seen. Ever.
It's terrible, and it gets worse every year.
Yep. It gets worse. It gets worse every year, and people don't want to acknowledge how badly coached the position is. It's horrible.
Well, I mean, I understand there's a limitation on what you tell a kid or even a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just run the ball every single time there's some pressure coming up the middle.
Yep.
Or even on the edges.
That's how the Chiefs figured out the Ravens.
You watch these games, these quarterbacks, they don't even look downfield or look at their different progressions.
They sure don't.
They just tuck it and run every single time.
Every time.
And they're going to get, I hate to use this word, they're going to get murdered.
They're going to get blasted. Lamar Jackson, are you listening? Because that's how do you think the Chiefs figured out the Ravens in the AFC Championship game?
Exactly.
We predicted that game. We
did.
both said if Kansas City can force Lamar out of the pocket, they've got the game. And what did they do?
They forced him out of the pocket.
I know he's out of the league now, but I always go back to look at Robert Griffin III.
Yes.
He is out of the league because he never learned how to throw the ball and got killed every single time he got hit because he was
that knee injury when he was running the football, by the way. When he was running the football, that knee injury cost him his career. It didn't cost him just a game. It cost him his career.
Yeah. It really did.
It cost him his career. And I hate saying that aloud, but I'm going to say it aloud. It cost him his career.
I mean, he can still be in the league now because he's not that old. And now he's out of broadcasting.
Mm-hmm. ESPN let him go for telling the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
ESPN seems to have a habit of doing that.
Speaking
letting people go when they tell it.
I was going to say, speaking of ESPN screw-ups, why do we have double headers on Monday night coming up?
We got the next 2 weeks, this week and next week. We got
this week and next week.
And then there's a third one coming up week 7, I believe.
I don't really have a problem with her doing double headers, but my problem is, why do you only stagger them 45 minutes apart? You either do them a half a game apart or a full game apart. And so what if people don't want to stay up late?
A full game apart works better.
Well, yeah, if you start at 7, I guess they're starting at 7:30 the first one tonight, and then the other one's at 8:15.
Buffalo.
Well, that makes no sense to me. You're hurting your viewership.
Yep.
It's a most you're going to miss a quarter.
Well, I guess what they're doing is they're putting the Commanders Bengals on ABC because they've got nothing else to put on.
And then the second one
Yeah,
would be
I understand that. I get that. Well, get rid of that stupid Dancing with the Stars for one.
Oh, God.
Well, they got the 7:30 game, which is Jacksonville and Buffalo on ESPN. Like I said, they got Washington Cincy on ABC. So there you go.
Like Ryan just said, have one on the East Coast start at 7, and then one on the West Coast start at 8:30. I'd even say 9. I'd even say 10.
That's what they used to do.
Next week they've got Titans Dolphins 7:30 and Seahawks Lions at 8:15.
Oh God!
You got to stagger them differently.
You got to, and ESPN and ABC are the same entity.
Yeah.
ESPN and ABC are the same.
And
it's all the mouths.
Yeah, and week 7 it's Ravens Bucks at 8:15, Chargers Cardinals at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just do like they did whatever years they were, and when they did like 7 and 10 or whatever it was, or even 6:30 and 9:30. I mean, really, you can't get home about 6:30. And
Yeah,
what
really?
about forget about the West Coast? If you're not home at 3:30, who cares?
Well, we mentioned all the programming problems, and when ESPN took over Monday Night Football, I gagged.
Well, listen, I've said this before on your show.
Say it again.
And I like Joe Buck and Troy, but I really do.
Yeah.
And at least they're on there to kind of give the show some help.
Yep, to give them some stability.
It's not Monday Night Football like we all grew up watching.
Mm-mm.
Monday Night Football was, it was must-see viewing.
It was.
It doesn't,
This is when ABC was a separate entity and not with ESPN.
I would be bleary-eyed every Tuesday because I'd stay up all night watching Monday Night Football.
Same. So many times I got in trouble with my parents for watching Monday Night Football all the way through. Paid for it the next day, but made for great discussion in class and made for great discussion with my dad. It was fun. Monday Night Football was fun once upon a time.
Even years ago when I was young, in my late teens, early 20s, even early 30s, I had a job where I had to work early in the morning. Well, I was a zombie all day on Tuesday because of it.
I believe it. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burnt the SOB when I got done with it.
Jay, what's wrong with you? Well, I hate to tell you this, but I watched Monday Night Football all night last night. And it went overtime, and it lasted until 1:30 in the morning.
1:30 in the morning, exactly.
Yep.
This was Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Howard Cosell and Frank Gifford here.
And Don
Meredith.
Al Michaels.
Madden,
and, you go on, except for the guy who murdered his ex-wife.
Yeah.
We won't mention his name.
Nope.
When it was on ABC, it was great. Dan Deerdorf,
Al Michaels, Dan Deerdorf, and Frank Gifford.
Yes.
I had to play that. And Al Michaels, Dan Deerdorf, and Frank Gifford. And for a while, it was Frank Gifford, Don Meredith, and I think it was Deerdorf. It was those three before Al Michaels came aboard, which was a genius move.
Oh yeah,
absolute genius move. I didn't realize it at the time because Al Michaels came aboard the Monday Night Crew in 1986. Genius move.
Absolutely.
Absolute genius move. And Al had only done up to that point college football and Major League Baseball.
And the Olympics.
Thank you. And the Olympics. Because he hosted I think he did the one in Montreal. 1976.
No, he did the one. He did the
1980.
He did the 80, the hockey game.
Yeah, 1980.
That's where he got to kind of get his notoriety.
Yep. 1980, Lake Placid, New York.
Well, a lot of people don't realize miracles. A lot of people didn't realize he was actually the play-by-play guy for the Reds for a couple of years.
Yes, he was.
So he was a tremendous baseball announcer.
Mm-hmm. He called Dave Henderson's go-ahead home run in Game 5 in '86 when the Angels looked like they were going to win the pennant.
One of the most important things he did in baseball had nothing to do with baseball. When he did the A's and the Giants during the earthquake.
And the earthquake happened.
The earthquake game.
He knew, even though he did not live in that area, he knew about California, what earthquakes were like. And he was describing it. It was basically a play-by-play of an earthquake.
He was describing an earthquake to a T, and everything that was going on.
And even further back on Monday Night Football, this had nothing to do with Al, but this is Howard Cosell when he announced that John Lennon had died.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you how important Monday Night Football was back then when he announced the news. Well, I know the media landscape has changed a millionfold by now. I understand that, but it just shows you that was the only way we got the news out, because nobody would ever know he died had it not been for Monday Night Football.
Right.
I mean, it was an event every single Monday, and I will never forget all the great games they showed. I will never forget the Dolphins-Bears game in '85.
Yes.
It was by far the most watched game in the history
I
of
stayed up. You were bleary-eyed? I know I was bleary-eyed when I got done watching that game.
I mean, that was
everybody in the house was bleary-eyed the next day.
And I know the country's gotten much bigger since then, but I bet you at least half the country watched that night.
I believe it. I wouldn't be surprised either.
I mean, we're looking at 40 years later, and I'll never forget that night.
Never. I'll never forget.
And that's when the game. Don't forget that's when the game started at 9:00.
Yes. 8:00. I was living in Chicago. 8:00 Central Time. Go off at 11. Finally pass out. Wake up bleary-eyed the next day, and there you go, Monday Night Miracle. And I watched every play of that in 2000. Jets Dolphins. I watched every play of that. I was living up in Minnesota at the time.
Packers Vikings.
The improbable bobble.
Al Michaels said he
did what? Absolutely.
He did what?
Absolutely. I was living in Minnesota when that happened with the Vikings fan. I laughed my head off. Monday Night Football is not the same.
No, it's
not. It never will be the same again.
But that's not knocking Joe and Troy, because
No.
You could argue they're the best tandem in the league.
Yep.
But that's still Monday Night Football is not what it used to be.
Joe and Troy, to me, are like a pair of the old school announcers I used to watch. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Yes.
I was about to say the same name.
Dick Enberg and
a lot of people say it was Summerall and Brookshire, and yes, they were great.
But
it was, folks. It wasn't until whether it be Fox or CBS when Summerall and Madden were on. Mm-hmm. It was an event. You knew it was a big game.
It wasn't until they teamed up Madden and Summerall for Super Bowl 16 on January 24th, 1982.
You knew if those two guys were covering your game, it was a big game.
It was a big one. All right, we got to go. Jay Spivey joining us here on the program. Appreciate you, brother, so very, very much. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys.
The second coming of the Brian Snow Show premieres today at 4:00, and then the Astros will try to clinch the division tonight against the Mariners, and yours truly will have the virtual call. Have a great day.
Before we go, there's one thing.
What?
We do need to address the fact that we did have a football legend pass over the weekend.
And that is Eugene
Mercury Morris. Him and Zonka were the first teammates ever to hit 1,000 each. In the NFL in the same year.
God bless you, Mercury. God bless you. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. So long, everybody.